This conference will now be recorded.
Let me come to the MS Paint document. Now we are starting with once again, the other day we spoke very briefly about what exactly are we going to do. So today what will we do is, let me put that here. We'll try to understand something about the first part, say SAP as application software. Now when we say an application software, any application software, or for that purpose I'm talking from the SAP point of view, we have two systems. One is what we call as the client system. So this is your front end system. So when it's a front end system, whatever we are doing, we'll be logging into the system. Whatever we are going to do, that will be done in the front end system or the client system. Now, whatever we are doing here in the front end system, from here it will go to a server system. Now, server system will not be visible to us. That will be the backend system, what we call it as the backend system. Now, in the server system, we'll be having the database. So when you say database, something which stores the data, what SAP used to do is it used to buy the database from Abhinav. Can you just mute yourself, or I'll mute you because I'm able to hear some sounds. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So what SAP used to do is it used to buy the database from third-party vendors like Oracle, or I hope I'm recording this. Let me record this also. Yeah. Okay. Like Sybase, etc. These were all the databases. Now what SAP used to do is on the top of this database, they used to install this application software. So at the backend, you had the database. On the top of the database, you have the application software. Now there is a name or a version which is given for this application software. I'll talk about that also. But before we go for that, how is the data going to move from the client system to the server system? We have to provide a link between these two systems. Only then the data will move from the client system to the server system. So this link is something which will be provided by using SAP GUI. GUI is a software. The full form of GUI is graphical user interface. Put that here. GUI is graphical user interface. So what does it do? For the time being, I'll say connects the client system to the server system. The client and the server system, these are connected via this GUI. Now once you install this GUI in your system, you will be getting an SAP logon pad. So using this logon pad, you will be connecting it to the server system and you can log on into the SAP system. So once we install this GUI, we'll be getting the logon pad something like this. This is my SAP logon pad. Now how do we log in, or how do we connect to the server system? Double click on this. The first time when you come here, even this ECC will not be there. It will be totally blank. Using this connections, we'll be connecting it to the server system. Now this is the work of the basis consultant. This will not be done by the functional consultant. So how do you connect? Right click, and here you have add a new entry option. Click on this. You'll be getting a small screen like this. Click this next option. Now here you are able to get different options. Whatever description which you give here, that will be visible here. This is the IP address of the server system, the system number and all. Once you give all these things, this finish will get highlighted. So once finish is highlighted, that means you can connect to the server system. Now this will appear something like this because I've already entered it. That's why you're not able to see that. So if you just go to properties, right click on that ECC, go to properties, it appears something like this. The name, the IP address of the server system and the instance number. So how do we log in now? Double click on this. Now if you're able to see here, there's one specification which is visible here, ECC 6.0 inclusive EHP7. Now what is this? Now this is the version of the application software. So this application software is visible to you in the front-end system, that is in the client system, which is installed on the top of this database actually. So as I told you, that will be visible to you in the server system. So the version of this application software or the application software is given as ECC 6.0 EHP7. So full form of ECC, Enterprise Central Component. 6 is sixth version, and EHP, the full form of EHP is Enhanced Package. Enhanced Package 7. Now this way you have from EHP1 to EHP7. EHP7 is the latest one. That is what is visible here, the name of the version. Now in the practice environment, this client 800 is going to remain constant. We'll be talking about it as we go to little more advanced state. What is this client 800 and all? Okay. The user ID and the password we'll give it. I'm using my user ID and the password. Press enter. And the password is case sensitive. If you give the wrong password 3 times, it will get locked. Again, you can unlock it also, but you have to be careful while logging in. Press enter. Now the moment you press enter, you are coming to the first screen. The name is Easy Access Screen. Now who are the users of this screen? Let me come back here. When we talk about SAP, let me just remove this. Just give me 1 minute. I'll remove this. Talk about SAP, there are 3 people who will be working actually. One is the functional consultant. Functional consultant. Now, functional consultant is a person who will be responsible for all the configuring. So he'll be responsible for configuring the system. He'll try to understand the requirements of the client, and as per his requirement, he's going to configure all those activities in the system. Then second, it will be the end user. End user will be person who is using the software. So simple example from the point of view of the finance area, someone like an accountant or someone like a cashier, the people who are responsible for recording all the day-to-day activities. And then we have a support consultant. Support consultant is the person who is going to, in case if the end user gets any kind of errors, those errors will be rectified by the support consultants. So this person will be responsible for, I'll say, error rectification. So on a step-by-step process, we'll be talking about all the 3 areas. We'll be talking about the functional consultant. We'll be doing all those activities in the system. Then we'll also be coming to the user as well as a support consultant. Okay. Now this particular screen which you are seeing, the easy access screen, this will be used by the end user to record all the day-to-day activities. That means whatever is happening in the whole organization, that will be recorded from the, since we are talking about finance, from the accounting point of view. Now this way you will be having the end users from various other areas also. You have an end user from the material management side, from the HR side. They'll be responsible for their own activities. Now when you open this, various requirements are available here. You have materials management, you have something like sales and distribution, production. Similarly, when you come to accounting, different requirements you are able to see here. Now this is the reason why SAP is called as an integrated software, because many of the requirements can be met through this particular product which we are calling as SAP. So whenever a company moves to SAP, you have the same software in different departments, and all these departments are integrated, what we call as interlinked. Okay. Now first let's try to understand some basic things about the easy access screen. Now at the top, this is your menu bar where you're able to see your menu, edit, favorites and all. The place where you're able to see this cursor which is blinking, this is your command line. Besides that command line, this is your toolbar, various tools you are able to see, find next, different things you are able to see here. This is your title bar where you are able to see the name SAP Easy Access, and this part we call it as an application toolbar, and this whole area we'll be calling it as navigation area. Now once we come here, let's say if I want to open another session, I want to see another easy access session, there is no need for me to log in again. We have an option here, create new session. So when you click on this, a new SAP session. So at the bottom, if you are able to see, two sessions are visible here. Now this way simultaneously, we can open 6 new sessions. Let me keep on clicking on that. Now after 6, it will not allow me. It says maximum number of sessions reached. And at the bottom, if you see, 6 sessions are visible. Now I don't need 6 sessions as of now. Let me close it. Let's open one session, that is enough for us. Right. Now let's say I want to open a new session, but I don't want to use this create new session button. I can open it from the command line also. Come to the command line and use /o. Now it's not case sensitive. /o can be in small letters also, not necessary that it has to be in capital letters. So give that /o and press enter, or you can just click on this tick mark also here. The system will always ask you this: what do you want to do? You want to generate or you want to end the session? So I would like to generate. So click on this generate. So second session is opened there. So whether I use my create new session button or whether I use my /o from here, maximum number of sessions which we can open is only 6. So at any point of time, we cannot open more than 6. Okay. To the purpose, why this option has been given. Now there is no specific reason as to why only 6, but why more than one has been given. That definitely we can understand. Now let's say you're working as a user in an organization, and let's say you're looking at multiple activities. Within the general ledger, let's say you're responsible for posting of transactions, you're responsible for creation of some master records, various things. So what you can do is, in one of the screens, you can open the document entries option. You can open the second session and you can open the second path. So simultaneously, there's a possibility of working in 2-3 screens at a time. Every time I did not open and close the path, which is little time consuming. Instead of that, you can open the screen and you can start working on it. Okay. Now here, if you observe, for every activity, when you came to this document entry, there are a lot of things we are able to observe here. For every activity, you have a description, and besides the description, there's an alphanumeric identification. Like for the first one, you have FB50. For general posting, you have F-02. This way, you have different alphanumeric identifications. Now, what do we call them as? These are known as transaction codes. Now, transaction codes are universal and they are predefined. So, there's something which is already existing, and it doesn't change as per the region or as per the country. Now the purpose of this, one option of getting into this screen is just double click on this. You're getting into that screen. You have a second option also. Let me come back. This transaction code you can enter in the command line. Give that F-02 there and press enter. You're entering into the same screen, and at the bottom you're able to see the transaction code also here. Okay. So this way you can use these shortcuts and you can enter into the same screen. Let me come back. Now here the transaction codes have been activated. That's why you're able to see them. But if they are in the inactive status, if they have been deactivated, you'll not be able to see the transaction codes. So how do we deactivate it, or how do we activate or deactivate the transaction codes? Sorry. From the menu, go to extras, click on the settings. So there are 4 checkboxes, 2 are selected and 2 are removed. Let me remove these 2 also and see what is the impact of this. Now here you are able to see the picture which was not visible. That doesn't make any difference whether the picture is there or not. Now when I open the path, let's say I'm coming to accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, the transaction codes are not visible now. Only the description is visible here. Once again, if you want to activate, every time there is no need for me to go to extras. You can just right click here, go to this settings. Once again, select these 2 checkboxes and press enter. Now the picture is no longer there. If you open the path now, once again the transaction codes are visible. Now this way you can activate or deactivate the different transaction codes. Okay. Now if you look at the same screen, let me once again right click here and go to once again settings. Now if you see here, there are 2 more options. If you select the first option, this favorites which you are able to see at the top will go to the bottom. Now that doesn't make any difference whether favorites is there at the top or at the bottom. But if you select this checkbox, so what is that? It says do not display menu, only display favorites. Select that and press enter. You're not able to see the menu at all. Now if menu is not there, it's obvious that we cannot do anything. Then why this option has been given? There must be some reason behind it. Now let me once again activate the menu. Let me go there. Now let's say you are working as a user and you're not responsible for all these activities. Let's say you're going to general ledger, going to document entry. Now so many things are visible here. You're not responsible for all these activities. Only some of them you're looking at. Like let's say you're responsible for general posting. So what you can do, you can just drag it and drop it in the favorites. Similarly, let's say you're into general document parking. Again, there is a second option also. If you want to add to the favorites every time, it's not necessary that you have to drag and drop it. You have favorites here also. Click on that. Click on that insert transaction. Which is the transaction code? The transaction code you can give it here, F-65, and enter. It gets added to the favorites. Now when whatever you are doing, if it is added to the favorites, I don't need other things. So what you can do, you can right click, go to settings, select this checkbox, enter. Now only those activities which are needed for you, they are available here. Double click on this, you're getting into the same screen. Okay. So this way, whatever is required, you can always add that to the favorites. And if you don't want it, you can right click, delete those favorites. Or if you want to add a folder also, you can always add it. You can go to favorites, insert folder. If you want, you can give a name to this, general ledger, and add various things which are required in the favorites in the general ledger folder. If you don't want it, you can delete it also. Again, you can go to this menu, you can go to the settings and remove it. So once again, your menu is activated. Now let's say you are working as a user, and let us suppose you don't remember this path. You have to go to this F-02. You know only this transaction code and you don't remember this path at all. You forgot to go to accounting, financial accounting and all. Then from the system itself, you can check for the transaction codes. Come to this command line and use search underscore SAP underscore menu. Search underscore SAP underscore menu. Give that in the command line and press enter. The system is asking you, what do you want to search? I'll give that transaction code F-02 and press enter. So you're able to see the path here. Accounting, financial accounting, the path is visible as well as the transaction code. Or let's say you don't remember even the transaction code. Even then, you can search by using the same option. Search underscore SAP underscore menu. Give that, press enter, and give the description. Let's say I want to check for general posting, give that and press enter. But when you use the description, wherever that general posting is there, system will display all those transaction codes. Every transaction code where general posting is there, that will be displayed. Okay, let's come back. Now when you come to this other options, like you have something like edit here, create shortcut on the desktop. Now when you say create shortcut on the desktop, let's say if I close this and if I try to create it, I go to edit, I'll try to click on this create shortcut on the desktop. System will not allow you to do that. So it says links can only be created for transactions. You cannot create a shortcut for the folder. So whichever is the transaction code for which you want to create the shortcut, you have to place the cursor on that. Come to this edit and click on this create shortcut on the desktop. So it is asking you, do you want to allow it? So we'll say allow. So at the bottom, it is giving you a message that the shortcut has been created. Now minimize it and check on the desktop. You'll be able to see the shortcut here, general posting. So if you're logging in, you can log in from here also. Only thing, this will take you only to that particular screen. You'll not be able to move to other screen. Okay. And if you don't want it, you can delete it also. Just right click and go to this show more options. You have a delete option also. Let me come back here. Now when you come to favorites already whatever is needed we have seen. We have inserted a folder, we have inserted a transaction also. If you come to extras, you have another option, that is set start transaction. So let me click on this. So the system is asking you which transaction code you want to set as start transaction. Let's say I'll give it as F02 and press enter. So system is giving you a message that transaction F-02 set as start transaction. So what will happen now, whenever I log in, system will not come to this easy access screen. It will go to F-02. Let me show you that. I'll close this. I'll have this logon pad here. Double click on this, the user and the password. Press enter. So it is not coming to the easy access screen. It is going to F-02 because that has been set as the start transaction. Okay. Come back. And if you want to remove it, remove this and enter. Okay. Now we have seen a lot of transaction codes. A lot of transaction codes starting with F. Now let's say I want to see the list of all these transaction codes at one place in the system. Now for that, we'll use one transaction code from the technical side, SE93. Give that in the command line and press enter. So once you come here, give F star. F is for all those transaction codes which are starting with F. Give F star and click the drop down here. So if you see here, list of the transaction codes starting with F is with. Similarly, if you want to see those starting with M, M is for materials management, M star, you're able to see starting with M. For production, it is C star. Give that and click the drop down. You're able to see that. So these were various options. You can check them from the system itself. Okay. So let me come back. Now this particular screen, as I told you, is something which will be used by the end users to record all the day-to-day activities. Now though we are saying that this is a screen which is used by the end user, but the functional consultant is someone who should know everything actually. He should know the easy access screen also. Because in any organization, if at all the end user is having any questions or if he wants any kind of training, the training to the end user will be given by the functional consultants and he will be trained only in that area in which he is working. He'll never have access to the second screen, that is the IMG screen. Now the functional and the support consultants will be using the second screen. If you want to come to that screen, you can use SPRO here. SPRO is a shortcut. The full form, let me put that here. Special Project Reference Object. Give that in the command line SPRO, or you can use the path also. You can come to Tools, come to Customizing. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just switch off my server, my charger. Just give me a minute. Okay, so come to Tools, Customizing, IMG, Execute Project, SPRO. Click on this. And the second screen, you're able to see three buttons here. You have SAP Reference IMG, IMG Information, and Project Analysis. Click on this SAP Reference IMG's button. So once you click on that, you are coming to a new screen. This is Display IMG screen. IMG is the shortcut. Full form is Implementation Guide. So what do I mean by implementation? Let me come here. you have different types of projects. The first important type of project is what we call as an end-to-end implementation project. The process of taking a company from a non-SAP environment to SAP environment. Is implementation, let's say, and the project is an implementation project. So any company which is in a non-SAP environment, that particular company is moving to SAP. So obviously that particular project will be calling it as an implementation project. And when you say end-to-end implementation project, when this company is moving into the SAP environment in more than one areas, like they want to go to SAP in the finance and account side, they want to go to SAP in the material side, sales side, all the consultants will be working together, and such project we call it as an end-to-end implementation project. And the functional consultant will be using this particular screen for that. All the configuration, like he'll try to understand a company's requirements, and all those things will be activated from here. Now here also different requirements are there. First, let me open a path here. Let's say we have something like enterprise structure. Now here there is something like documentation. Documentation is a sort of help. It gives you some information about what does that enterprise structure mean. Let me close this. Now when you open this, let me open this. Let's say I go to definition. I'll go to financial accounting, something like defined company. Now one option of entering into this screen is you have to click on this activity button. Click on that. It will take you to that screen. Now we have a second option also here. Here also, for every activity, we have a transaction code. The transaction code will not be visible here by default. In the easy access, it was activated and it was visible to you. But here, every time when you are coming to this particular screen, the transaction code must be activated. So how do we activate it? Like I want to go ahead and check the transaction code for defined company. If you want to see the transaction codes from the menu, go to additional information. Again, additional information, display key, IMG activity. From the menu, additional information, again additional information, display key, IMG activity. So when you click on this, there is one additional information column which you are able to see. This last four letters which you are able to see here, that's the transaction code. Now how do we use this transaction code in the IMG screen? If I enter here directly, like I'm giving it as OX15 here. Now this can be in small letters or it can be in capital letters. You can use caps also. This is not case sensitive. So I'll give the transaction code and press enter. Now it doesn't take me anywhere. It is just coming to this particular defined company. Now in the IMG screen, if you want to use the transaction code before every transaction code, you have to use /n. /n followed by the transaction code, /n OX15, and press enter. You're coming to the same screen, and at the bottom here you're able to see the transaction code also. But one very important thing which you have to observe here is whenever you are using the transaction code in the IMG screen, if you click the back arrow button, system will always come back to the easy access screen. Now I'll tell you the reason for that also. But let's say from the easy access screen, if you want to use the transaction code, you can use it directly. 0815, enter. It doesn't make any difference even if you use /n 0815. Again, you'll be entering into the same screen. And let's say you want to open that 0815 in a different screen. Like this screen should be as it is, but defined company, you want to open it in a different screen. So you can use /o 0815. First /o, then followed by the transaction code. Press enter. So your initial screen will remain as it is, and defined company will open in a different screen. So this way also you can use it. Now let me close this. Let me go back to SPR. So if you observe here, let me click on this SAP reference. The moment I go out of this IMG screen, the path and the transaction code, they will get closed automatically. So I've opened the path earlier, if you remember. I went to additional information also, but that is getting closed now. That's why every time when you come to the IMG screen, if you want to see the path and the transaction code, you have to activate them. So now it is visible. Now coming to the reason why the system is taking you to the easy access screen. The moment we are using the transaction code here, when you click the back arrow button, we were going to the easy access. Now from here, let's say if you want to go back to the easy access, one option is you have this back arrow button. So this will take you screen by screen. But let's say I want to go directly to the easy access screen. I don't want to use this back arrow. Then here in the command line, I can use this /n. Press enter. It comes back directly to the easy access. That's why whenever you use the transaction code, whenever you use that /n, system will always come back to the easy access. Okay. So this way, what we'll be doing is, first we'll start with the functional consultant activities. All the things we'll be doing from here when you go to any kind of project. Then we'll be handing over the software to the respective company. The end users of that particular company will start recording the day-to-day activities from here. And if he gets any kind of error, the end user doesn't know how to rectify it. He'll forward that to the support consultant. And the support consultant will come back here to SPRO, and from here he will try to rectify the error. This way, all these three people will come into picture at three different stages. First the functional, then the end user, then the support consultant. Yeah. Now let me come back here. If you observe, there are two more buttons here. You have something like IMG information. Now we didn't talk anything about that. There's no need for us to enter anything here. This only gives you the information about the different versions starting with 4.5a. These are all the old versions. No need to enter anything here. This is just for our information. And in the same way, you have something like project analysis. Now here, the basic information about the project can be updated, like the name of the project, who is the project manager, his employee ID or his name, then the status, what part has been completed, when did you plan to start, when are you planning to end. These things can be updated once in 10 days or once in a fortnight. When did the project start, when is it ending, then the number of resources. So depending on the requirement, you can always update them. Okay. Now another small thing which I wanted to give here. Now let's say a company is already into SAP, it's already using, and there are various end users, and they want to communicate among themselves. Like, oral communication is fine because there'll be frequent inflow and outflow of information. But let's say you want to send something, then you can always use business workplace option. You want to send some mails to them, then use this option. Now various options are available for this. So one option is you can come to this SAP business workplace. You're coming to the screen. You can come to this new message option. So whatever you want, you can always enter it here. I'll tell you what are all the things. We'll first try to check what are the options available. We have one more option to come to the same screen. Let me cancel it. You can come to office, workplace. Again, you'll be coming back to the same screen from here. Click this new message. You're coming to the same screen. And if you don't want this, there's an option available from here also. From the menu, you can go to system. You have a short message option here. So here you'll be coming directly to this particular screen. You can give some message here. You can say 15 is parked or document number, or you can say it is posted. Here you can give the message to the manager. You can say document number 15 is posted, and the concerned person's mail ID can be given here. You can click on the send option, and if you want any kind of attachment, you can create an attachment also. Okay. Just for internal communication, you can use this option. Okay. Come back. So I'm not sending because these are all not connected via the internet. Now other things also you are able to see here, but for every activity you can create a shortcut by using this also, generation of a shortcut. And you have an option here also. If you want to change the font size, if you want to increase the font size, you can come from here. You can go here. Various options are available. You can change the font also. Okay. Okay. Now let me go to once again SPRO, SAP reference, still processing. Now what we'll be doing is, first we'll be getting into the enterprise structure part. Now this structure we'll be defining from different areas. We'll be starting with financial accounting, then we'll be getting into the controlling side, the logistics side also, sales and distribution, materials management, as well as logistics execution. Then we'll be getting into the different areas. Now in case of financial accounting, so all those things which you are able to see below financial accounting, these are all the different functional modules. So if you go down here, various modules are available here. The most important thing which we have to remember here is all these modules are not required for one company. What SAP has done is it has included everything in one particular product and it has given it. Whatever is needed for that particular company, they'll be using it, and rest all things they'll be leaving it. But we cannot remove those things from the software. You cannot say, I don't want financial supply chain management, so remove financial supply chain management. That's something which is not possible. Only thing is you'll not be using that. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be getting into financial accounting. financial accounting new actually. In case of financial accounting, you are able to see two parts. This is the old version and this is the new version. We'll be doing our activities from financial accounting new. Then we'll be getting into the controlling side. Then we'll further get into the logistics side also. Also the sales and distribution, materials management, and the logistics execution side. On a step-by-step process, we'll be doing all these things, starting with the enterprise structure and all. So our process will go something like this. First, we'll be starting with all the functional consultants activities. Then we have to go into the end user side. Excuse me. Now, some of the settings we'll be doing in such a way that we'll get some errors, and then we'll try to rectify the error by going and doing the support consultants activities also. So this way, we'll be going ahead with all these three areas, starting with functional, the end user, and the support consultant. So this person will be responsible for all the configuration. This person will be responsible for all the day-to-day activities, and any kind of error rectification will be done by this person. Right. So these are some of the basic things which we have seen in our today's session. For today, I'll stop it here. So in our tomorrow's session, we'll be starting with the configuration part. We'll start with the functional consultants activities. We'll start with the enterprise structure. Okay. I'll stop it here for today. So any questions? I hope things are fine till here. So any questions, Hannah? I hope things are okay.
You may, hello.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, okay. You can hear me. Okay. Mm, yeah. So far, it is really good. I understood most of it. Um,
okay,
so yeah, I could able to recollect some of them. Yeah, these are the basics. So I have to know what's the path and the language they're using. They're like the configuration, integration, enterprise, whatever that language. I have to learn that every time you go to this uh,
IMG,
yeah, IMG or ERP, whatever it is, but the screens, right? The
right,
menu, the screens, that one. You see, I'm just using my own language, so I have to use that professional language over there. So that is
exactly,
what I need to know the screens well and able to communicate well with this. I
right.
hope that I get the material this one and so that I can have a practice a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Joseph will be taking care of all those things. I'll forward the recording also to him. Okay,
Hmm.
I'll be in
Oh,
touch with him.
it's so wonderful. Like thank you so much. It was so nice from you, like
Thank you.
to
Thank
be
you.
able to
Thank you.
get all the things.
Okay. Okay. So we'll continue from here in our tomorrow session. So I'll be sending this recording to Joseph, or let me take you. Let me talk to Joseph, and I'll see that this recording is forwarded to you. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay then. So we'll continue from here in our tomorrow session. Okay.
yes, yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Good night. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you.